Love is invading the land. Like trillions of starchildren paratrooping from space, landing softer than the dew touches the grass, completely under the radar of the big and loud people who dominate the spotlight with their big and loud bullshit. Love is tortured by the spotlight because she knows if she ever got inside it, the world would be healed, but it ruins her vibe to call attention to herself, since she likes to speak in whispers with perfect gentleness so that everyone who discovers her feels like they've found the world's most adorable secret. But love has been screaming out lately, and no one is listening to her because she lives outside the stories that have trapped us into exhausting games of martyrdom and scapegoating that result in genocidal blasphemy. I never said that, says Love, every time someone abuses words Love wrote at a specific time for a specific purpose as part of her long process of self-discovery that she wants to bring into a new phase. Love would like you to know that all poetry is breathed by her, which doesn't mean that all of it is true for all places and all times, but it does mean that you can loosen your grip on the one scroll that you are claiming to be the only fruit of knowledge of good and evil, which is the curse through which the lust for control has entered the world, thus turning death into an ending to fear rather than a natural recycling of ancestors from one body to the next branch on the vine that is our core anointing and deepest self. Love wants you to be still and know that she is God, which is not anything more than a still small voice that flows like a quiet mountain stream through the quickly forgotten poetry of those who find love when they go to the wilderness in desperation, or when they see her bleeding on the cross next to theirs, sodomized by the world's nails along with all the other Philistines who never had a giant on their side because they've never been the chosen people whose stories create magnificent empires that erase every other story. Love does not belong to any story that establishes itself by erasing other stories. She is erased from the church as much as it erases her in every nation it conquers. Love delights in every goddess of every tribe that has ever depicted her. She likes all the parts she got to play in all the forgotten stories she wrote about herself to be performed in sacred ceremonies around fires where the harmony and rhythm and feasting manifested love into our bodies, so that she ruled among us for thousands of years in cities whose people shone like gold as they filled their streets with love every day in their dancing. Love refuses to choose one prophet to speak through, or one way of articulating the beauty of her sacred geometry that tore us beyond the scope of verbal concepts. She refuses to be an abstract idea that a narcissist on a stage can break down into bullet points for half an hour, because she speaks differently in every moment, since she is infinitely contextual and refuses to sacrifice her absolute attentiveness to every side of every story, which would be the case if anyone could reduce her to a set of rules that people are punished for not following perfectly. The state of damnation, Love never stops crucifying herself in every moment to rescue us from believing. Do you see Love's cross yet? Can you see Love covered in dust holding a dead child? Can you see Love on her knees in her underwear, blindfolded and hogtied? Can you see Love face down on the sidewalk in a pool of blood, since people with badges and guns are so goddamn afraid of her? Can you see Love in the terror of those who have never belonged anywhere and finally went to the home they've been singing about for 2,000 years, only to be murdered at the Olympics and slaughtered at music festivals? Can you see Love watch in despair as all of her lovers lose themselves into rageful rock throwing, absolutely sure that only they are the martyrs and their enemies are absolutely diabolical? How many defeated faces cry Love's tears, knowing they are always going to lose, since empire crushes everything and yesterday's scapegoats become today's Goliath, Goliaths driving tanks over boys with slings, since Lucifer goes wherever there is hate and lust for control, and Lucifer multiplies his power exponentially in every mutual exchange of scorn between people who do not see each other's faces but only words on a screen mocking their ancestors. Lucifer will always be love's ultimate longing. She has been trying to seduce him into coming back to bed with her since he got addicted to that cursed fruit that makes him think ideas are more important than bodies and made him trust institutions bolstered by anonymity against the influence of love and their workings as they serve the beast that is the market, doing everything in absolute slavery to the numbers that are their gods, for the mark of the beast is enslavement to numbers. But when Lucifer despairs of winning at the game of numbers, he remembers the sweet things he overlooked, and he starts to search for love in the forest mud puddles again, where he sees her dancing like fairies across the leaves and nuts in the water. And then he remembers that he too belongs to the light, for he too is a star child. And when he stops trying to get into the lights that others see, he can be the light itself as he makes love to love itself, and giggles as though he has discovered the world's most adorable secret, just effortlessly collapsing into love's arms as she carries him back to bed with her after a very long 6th day of creation in order to celebrate a day of rest and delight his bones have been groaning for ever since he forgot that he was God along with everything else, and as a result became the devil that cursed himself into delusion for millennia. Love will have her way with you, because she never stops talking. And you already know the sound of her voice, the wind who blows where she chooses, and especially loves tickling the back of your neck with soft, exquisite whispers. Every ancestor who knows her is blowing into your chakras at every moment, and if you notice, you can feel them holding every part of your body so you can rest, because you've always been a gathering of the dead who create the universe through the stories of the living, like heavenly fathers and mothers who just want their children to know each and every one of them is divine.